Those under eye bags and circles making you look older than your real age. That's what I'm going to talk about today. How to get rid of them quickly at home, naturally. Hi everyone, this is Dr. 𝐦𝐨𝐫𝐞 from Angelic Wellness. I'm going to teach you today how to get rid of under eye bags and those annoying dark circles that you sometimes get really quickly at home. So let's first talk about what causes, right? These are two separate things, but I'm going to talk about both of them in this video because the treatments and things that you can do for them at home are very close or similar that we can just get them, covered, okay? So what are under eye bags? The puffy bags that you see under your eye every now and then. And what really causes them is the accumulation of fluids right under your eyelids, right? And they are sometimes caused from too much salt in the diet, right? Your body holds onto all that fluid just from having a really salty diet. So you might see them more often after you've kind of had one of those nights out where you just ate wrong and you wake up and your eyes are all puffy because there was too much salt in your diet, right? Another reason why we see them is basically during allergy season, right? We're here in Florida, something's always blowing in, and wherever else you are, just the spring season, you might see those puffy eyes a little bit more than other times of the year, right? So that's because with allergies, well, your body's going to release histamines that help you to try to fight the allergies. And with that histamine, it's going to cause your body to draw water to that area. It's going to be itchy, and then you itch your eyes and rub them, and that also causes more swelling in that area. So that could be another reason why you're getting those baggy eyes. Every now and then we'll have the patient that gets them because, they've been crying a lot, there's emotional things going on, and those usually recover really quick. But it's usually because your tears do have salt in them, right? And that salt will penetrate through your skin and it can cause that area to look really puffy, right? And then other times it's because of just natural aging. So the skin right under the eyes are one of the thinnest skins that you have in your body, right? Also the ones, on your eyelids. They're pretty thin, and because of that, as we age and we lose certain hormones, we lose collagen in the skin, we start to lose that elasticity or bounce back, and so the skin in that area starts to sag, and for that reason, the fats that are right beneath that thin layer of skin starts to push through, and you can start to see that bulge or bags under the eyes, as we call it, right? So aging, loss of hormones can also be a cause, right? So what about the dark circles, right? For some people, there's no puffiness. They just see discoloration or dark circles. Those are not necessarily from fluids. They are more about the size of your blood vessels. Right, so some people have bigger blood vessels than others, or what we call capillaries. Those are the little blood vessels that are very, very close to the skin. And during allergy seasons, we will see a lot of patients will have swelling here as well as dark circles because those histamine cause the blood vessels to dilate, so they get bigger, more noticeable. And then the darkness comes from the blood that we can kind of see through that thin layer of skin. So that's kind of one of the reasons we sometimes will see those dark circles. And of course, one of the bigger things that we can prevent is getting a good night's sleep. So some of us, you will notice it on days where you just had a rough night, right? You didn't get enough hours for whatever the reason. So of course the next day, maybe you were hungover. Hopefully that's not the reason, right? And so you will see a little bit more dark circles there because you didn't get a good night rest. So those are some of the causes. Now let's talk about, what can you do at home to actually help you get rid of this. Maybe even get rid of it quickly because you got things going on, you don't want to look tired, you want to fix that so you can go about your day. Right, so the first thing we usually say is, definitely if you can prevent it, get good night's rest, right? If you sleep well, you're going to not have those problems, or you're less likely to have them, right? So get a good night rest. Hydrate very well, right? So hydration in general, especially if your diet is high in salt, is going to help pull some of that salt out of your system, flush it out, and help you prevent, the holding on to the salt, like, when your body is not hydrated well and high in salt. So definitely hydrating is going to help. The other thing we can do to quickly really shrink, let's say you got an event you gotta go to really quickly, is actually to consume foods that have caffeine or drinks that have caffeine. So as we know, caffeine will cause dehydration or water to pool out of your system. So from that, you would get those blood vessels that have kind of like dilated or expanded to shrink. You might have heard of people getting a tea bag and kind of warming it up and putting that right over the swelling, and that helps to kind of, reduce the size of those dark blood vessels that are right underneath the skin. And to get rid of puffiness, cold compress will be the solution, right? So in the case of the blood vessels, we want to use the warm tea bags or, caffeine in our diet. But if we're talking about now trying to get rid of your swelling, you can put a cold compress. So you see in a lot of spas, they will put, cucumbers over your eyes and, things like that. So that's from not just the antioxidants that you get from those vegetables, but also the coolness of them can help to reduce swelling. We also see people use, like the frozen pea bag, the little bags of peas. You can put that over your eye for a little bit as long as you can tolerate it. Just using it like as a cold compress, or you can just have a, little ice pack that you have at home. You can put that over your eye for a little bit. And some people put a spoon in the freezer, get it really cold and then put it on the eye for a little bit, and on and off until that swelling starts to go down. So for any type of inflammation, we can always use a cold compress, right? So that's why that would be very helpful. So the other thing we can do to actually prevent some of these problems from happening in the first place is to make sure we're protecting our skin. So it's the resounding advice you always hear, SPF, protect your skin. But also very important for this area is sunglasses, right? So after applying your SPF, you also want to protect your eye and the skin around your eyes because it's very thin by wearing sunglasses. So in, a place like Florida where we are, we're out and about in the sun all the time. So it's very important that, besides just using SPF on our skin, that we protect our eyes when we're out. Some of us are invested in, glasses that actually will change to sunglasses as we're out and about, so we don't have to constantly remember that, oh God, I need to put that sunglasses on. So that's something else you can talk to your eye doctor about if you do wear glasses, for them to change your lens to those that transition to the darker shades and protect you from the UV damage while you're, out and about. The other thing that we do recommend is to use moisturizing creams, right? The more moisturized you have your skin, the better. But here, we don't actually recommend those creams that claim to help you reduce under eye bags, because there's a lot of data now showing that some of them might contain ingredients, preservatives, and chemicals that actually could damage your eye. Right? So be very careful about using those that claim to help you reduce under eye bags. We're just talking about natural moisturizers to just keep the skin moisturized. That would be my preference, rather than something that might have a chemical that might actually give you dry eye as a disease. Okay? So be very careful about those products out there, because they're not very regulated. The FDA does not regulate a lot of these creams and the claims that they make on their labels. And a lot of them might contain chemicals that you really don't want penetrating through the skin around your eyes, okay? So the Besides that, there are things that you can do for your allergies, right? So if you do have allergies and that's the reason why you're getting this puffiness, there's definitely, things that you can do that are antihistamines that will help you, not get the histamine release that then causes the dark circles and the baggy eyes, right? So, there's a lot of natural options. A lot of my patients, I recommend them the mullein leaf. That's mullein. It's very, very healthy and very, very safe for a lot of people to use. And they take that as drops under their tongue during the allergy season to kind of help keep their histamine levels down. There are also prescription medicines that have now gone over the counter, like Pataday, P-A-T-A-D-A-Y. These now over the counter, and you can actually get that as eye drops that you can use to help you, with the allergy symptoms. So, of course, most of the patients that have chronic allergies, we do have them on their routine allergy regimen. A lot of patients on single layers, some patients are needing Zyrtec and some other things like Claritin. And you should take that regularly during the allergy season to help you prevent having the problem in the first place. Okay, so let's say you've done all that and you're sleeping good, you're taking your vitamins, you're using these antioxidants and doing the cold compress, but you're still having a really, really hard time with these bags and dark circles. What I would then do is consider first non-surgical options, okay? There are non-surgical options that I've talked about over and over on this channel that you can use to help improve the elasticity of your skin, to help tighten skin that is lax, right? Without any cutting, with no downtime, right? So we offer those here in our practice. Literally, you can do it over a lunch hour. We apply this intense pulse light as well as bipolar radio frequency. We also use the nitrogen plasma device called 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐞 to help patients rejuvenate the skin without any cutting, okay? And so that would be the next step if you've tried these natural options but you're still struggling with this area of your skin. And then lastly, you can consider the surgical option, right? You've tried everything. Let's say, the IPL, the bipolar radio frequency failed you, 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐤𝐞 didn't seem to do the trick. Then you can consider surgical option. So what exactly do we do, for this area with surgery? The surgery itself is called lower eyelid blepharoplasty, right? Most of us know blepharoplasty for the upper eyelid, where when we have the droopy eyelid, we go in, have some of that skin snipped off, and it kind of helps us to lift and see better again, right? Well, with the lower eyelid, there are some surgeons that specialize in that. They work along with eye doctors to really get some of that fat behind that skin that's pushing it out, and they help trim some of that away. So the surgery, the way it works is they make the incision inside of your eyelid so it doesn't leave you any scar on the outside. And then they, close the incision and, hopefully you see less of a protrusion. But what I tell patients about this surgery is that, yes, that might have removed the fat, but it has not improved the elasticity of that thin skin that's still right under that eyelid, right? So I would still recommend for those patients to use the non-surgical laser options to now rejuvenate the collagen in that skin to tighten it back up, even after that surgery has been done. So those are things to kind of consider. So the surgery alone does not make the skin healthier, right? So we do still want to do things to help our skin be healthier. So what is the very last thing that I would do if I'm having this problem? Well, I also want to make sure that my hormones are balanced, right? So hormones are going to be very helpful in stimulating collagen production, elastin production, and fibroblast production. These are proteins that help our skin have that bounce back. And so if we don't have the right amount of hormones floating through our bloodstream, well, the skin is not going to have enough to be able to synthesize those proteins, and for that reason your skin will be very thin and very likely to be loose. So we would encourage that even with your plans for surgery or laser non-invasive options, to still definitely get your hormones checked so that we can kind of optimize that, so that whatever method that you do pick will work well and give you that glowing skin and less hyperpigmentation under your eyes and less puffiness and so on. And hopefully that helped. If you have any questions about that, please make a comment in the section below, and don't forget to subscribe.